The
Hey,
the
Richard.
upvote value from SBI has gone way down though. It used to be about 10 cents, and now I'm only getting about 2 cents for my share.
Well, those things go up and down on the decks on the steam engine, but that's just if there's like a one steam difference on a token, I might like throw the value. I mean, Shade used to be way up there, and then it went down, and then it goes back up, and then it goes down.
I think he meant they've stopped upvoting themselves on their posts.
Oh, I see.
No,
Go ahead, Define.
we used to get a bonus upvote for upvoting their posts, and they were accused of vote farm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, AB Dex, unless your mic is activated, I can't hear anything that's going on in your background.
Yeah, the convergent linear rewards unrewards curve.
Yeah, Marky addressed that on his last. What the heck's the name of his show? The Marky Mark or something. But he was talking about that the way things have changed with downvoting and the culture of, I guess, the powers that be.
Health recipes, try exiting Discord and coming back in and see if that clears it. Quite often that'll do the job. So I got two of those 10% downloads yesterday, and I actually had to laugh because the two downvotes were on a post that I had declined rewards on.
Unfortunately, the process for getting those delegations removed is really cumbersome. And Markey says that he's only removing them once he's got 500 at a time. So we're not actually getting those delegations removed anymore.
Well, it's kind of a whack-a-mole thing anyways, but at least you're trying. But I had to laugh. I put two posts up yesterday. One I put rewards on, and the other one I declined. And they hit the two that or hit the one that I would decline them. And I went, okay, downvote to your heart's content.
Yeah, you get downvoted for your affiliation with somebody. You get downvoted because you vote a certain witness. You get downvoted because I don't know, just because somebody's crazy and wants to downvote.
Yeah.
Blue hair, and all.
Okay, I'm not seeing you light up yet. Health recipes. Have you set a key for your push to talk? Oh, hopping out again. I see Owasco typing away, but I don't see Owasco in the voice channel. Hey, Jack. Oh, Snook fell out too.
Oh, mine said it wasn't connected.
Oh,
So I dropped out and then came back in, and now it's not doing that circle of death thing.
well, hopefully I don't get my internet connection dropped just as we start. That's what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I did the
and,
intro, and
and
all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, I'm talking to myself.
yeah, and then Anarchy is like, "Am I?" Or somebody said it was either that or aggro. It's hard to tell them apart on voice. But one of them said, "Well, I would think Shadows is running her own show in the Ramble." I'm like, "Well, I'm sure she just dropped out." and then I typed that in, and then your sister came on and said, just give her a minute. I'm sure she has internet problems.
Yeah. She actually, I had to laugh because she had messaged me on Facebook. And of course, I got it after the connection came back up. And I'm looking at the screen and I'm thinking, you do realize that if my connection drops, it drops Facebook too.
Yeah, I have nothing.
I actually, if it had gone on much longer, I was going to phone her and tell her that
Yeah,
just as I
but
was reaching for the phone, it came back.
I just think that Anarchy should have not come and should have just slept a little more. He was a little on edge with
He
the
was
thing.
kind of trying to control the narrative there yesterday. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to have a chat in the ramble, but I'm going to tell you all to go and watch that recording. I'm just going to keep telling you to go watch that recording.
I Well, and then to say, well, nobody cares about the website, but yet, I don't know, it got brought up, so that means that people do care.
Well, no, what he meant was nobody really cared about that Jeff, and obviously somebody did, and there will always be somebody who does.
Very true.
Actually, it kind of reminded me um, when they were talking about it. My brother had a comment he used to make about my mother because she was constantly focusing in on the little itty bitty crap. And he'd say, ah, that's mother, running around picking up the quarters off the floor while the dollars are flying over her head. Okay, looks like we've got some folks in. The giveaway is running in the giveaway channel. So if those that aren't familiar, you click on the emoji under each of the giveaways to enter it. You need to be present when it's drawn. If your name's drawn and you're not present, you don't get. Okay, looks like we'll get underway. Good morning, everyone. This is Shadows Pub and Pimp Your Post Thursday morning edition from the Ramble. So for the benefit of anyone that's new, we've already talked about the giveaway that being running in the giveaway channel and that you need to be here to uh, earn the SBI or Shade. And ABDEX, if you can put the emoji in, that's what we do is you drop the emoji in, I add you to the list, and then once you're on the list, I put the coffee cup underneath. That's how you know what's going on. If for some reason you're unable to present by voice, if you have text ready, and it needs to be ready ahead of time, and when you put your link in, drop the text in at the same time, we'll get it read out to the audience. Okay. Health recipes. You're going to go first, and I know you've been trying to get your voice working, but it doesn't look like you have. Do you have some text ready, or did you get that voice sorted? Uh, where? Health recipes came first after I dropped. X-Men's dropping the axe.
Oh, right above where you put your stuff.
You put, that wasn't one of our emojis.
Oh, it's my special one.
Uh-huh. You're gonna throw gnomes in the channel and expect me to pay attention? You're lucky I didn't send the
Yeah.
firing squad.
Oh my God, that on my Facebook page made me crack up, so my mom thought I was crazy.
You know, I have a couple of Newfie friends on my Facebook timeline, and I fully expected one of them to go, "What?" And neither one of them said anything. You're having trouble trying to get your voice. If you want to do a little bit of a text write-up, I'll go ahead with the next person, and then come back to you so you can present by text. Does that work for you, Health Recipes? So now she uses the coffee cup.
I just realized I used the wrong one again.
Oh well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
pretty
I'll
early
take
in the day
it.
for you.
It is. I was up at freaking 8 o'clock. Oh,
Solo Miner, you go. Excuse me. You go ahead.
Well, hello there, everyone, on Pimp Your Post Thursday. Thanks for having me on again.
Well,
I
thanks for
did
being
a
here.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to be a regular once again, but I just need to get back in the flow of it.
That's
But
okay.
I wanted to share with y'all a shadow photo post. Melinda does a series of shadow photo posts and invites people to do whatever the theme is for the week. And I happened to fall into one of those themes with one of my photos, and it was one of my mason bees. These bees I raise on my property, and I help them to help me pollinate my flowers, and I just have some friends all around the property. And if you look close, you can see the shadow of the wings and like the veins in the wings, and you can also see the antenna shadow. So I really like this little single. It's just a lot of little details going on in it. That's it.
Very nice. So, what Define the Dollar was talking about, put an emoji in under when a post is presented, you put an emoji under it. And if you click on that emoji, you can pick up a banjo token. And Define is really good about reminding us about that because I keep forgetting. Thank you, Solo. Health recipes, are you good to go or do you need a little bit more time? I see her typing away there. Define says if you stake the banjo tokens that you get an upvote.
Richard, I even forgot that I'd forgotten. That sounds like me. Are you in my head this morning?
Oh God, that'd be a tight space up there. Teeny tiny upvote. Okay, do you want to drop the link to your post as well? There we go. So Health Recipes has shared a post. It says, I'm Health Recipes from Argentina. My post is about healthy brownies. I'm a 32-year-old lawyer. Hey, Safi.
Hey.
Those are kind of tasty looking brownies. It's usually the best way for me to look at brownies. It's just the picture, you know, because then I don't eat too many of them. Very nice.
Anybody else singing the song about Argentina?
No? Are
Okay,
you?
never mind. Yeah.
Okay. So, Health Recipes, this was your first time presenting on PYPT. So you have now been given the PYPT attendee role, which means that you get to type in that cool blue shade that everybody else is typing in. And there's also a channel down there called the PYPT attendee. And you can drop your post in there, take a look at other people's posts and give them some support, and you get some support. Well done. And next person up is Rhonda. Now I know she's on voice.
Yeah, I am. Just just a little insight into what we're doing with Theme House. We're kind of being hush hush. Oh my God, Jack Miller. Now listen. You were just waiting for me with that. I know you were. Love you too, Mr. Miller. Oh my goodness,
There's
that's hilarious. But anyway, it's just a post about the meeting that we had with Steam House. Everything's going really well. Got a lot of good things happening. We're playing it low key, kind of trying to, not draw too much attention to ourselves right now. But things are going good. We're glad.
yeah, that's good. So I guess the only real answer to Jack is he's beyond help.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. Jack beyond help. So you have book number 2 in the wings.
Yes, we do. It's I just have had so much chaos in my life with the move over here to Europe that I haven't had time to really work on it like I should. But yeah, the author is excited about it. We're looking at cover art. Hopefully, we'll have something to talk.
Good. Okay. Zipporah, you're up. I think
Just
she's
one
back.
moment.
I thought she was
Yes,
back.
I'm back. I'm having to be sneaky, so I'm actually on the voice on my phone, and then I have the voice text open on my laptop. So give me 1 second.
You're not being sneaky, you're being creative.
I'm being resourceful.
Safi's not a chocolate fan, but is cocoa.
So oh, that's interesting to see. So I guess the thumbnail doesn't show up if it's video. Strange. Okay. Anyway, I literally just posted this. And this was a little favor I did for my friend Gabriella. In October, I photographed a songwriters retreat about an hour and a half north of where I am now, 2 hours. And she played this beautiful song during one of the shares in the evening and happened to mention to me that she wished her grandmother could see it, that her grandmother was on her deathbed, basically. So there was this gorgeous lake, and I said, why don't you let me film it for you? She'd actually asked if I would do it on my iPhone, and I said I could do much better than that. So we took her out. I took her out to the end of this little pier, this gorgeous setting, and made sure I recorded the audio properly and had her do a couple takes so I would have some material to work with. And I just finally had a moment to put it together last night. So it's very sweet. She said it's the first song she's written in Spanish. And I can't say that I know everything she's saying, but it is such a beautiful lullaby and clearly so heartfelt. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have a moment, it's not very long, it's just a few minutes. And whether you're going to sleep or waking up, it's a nice little 3-minute break from whatever is going on in your life.
So it looks like it's using the first photo as a thumbnail in Discord rather than
Yeah, weird.
yeah.
Good to know. I have a really beautiful photo actually of her playing when she originally shared it with the whole group. So maybe I'll just drop that in the beginning. Good to see that. But I
Oh,
just posted it. I just
PH
posted it at like
PH has just made the
uh
comment maybe because it's on Vimeo.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, I put it on Vimeo. That's where I put all my pro stuff. Vimeo is a much more pleasant visual experience for me than YouTube. uh, so, yeah, that's where it is. But I'll just drop a thing in there. But I already got an appreciator vote on it, and I literally just posted it. So that's nice. I guess the platform is hungry for content, I think.
Yes, it is. Actually, I'm mulling over the possibility of doing a Advent um, challenge of putting a prompt out a day in Advent. I haven't quite decided yet.
Hmm.
But if it
Yeah.
gets some engagement, it gets some content up on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Zipporah. And
You're welcome. Thank you.
define the dollar.
Hey guys, I'm back again to promote Celeritas. This has been a fantastic week. We got 2 new members, I think from here actually. Weeb bought 10, got a share of SBI, and Ingenuity bought 30, so got 3 SBI. We're right at the border of Minnow now. We're like 480 something. So project is growing, and this week I started programming the bot to transition to a manual curation bot. And since most of those bots have been done in Python, and I don't really like Python, I'm doing it myself in JavaScript from scratch. That way I know all its innards and I can fix it if anything goes wrong later on. But the actual programming has started, so we'll be transitioning fairly soon to manual curation instead of auto vote.
So you're making progress.
It's growing and we're moving. Um, Actually, Ingenuity.
Oh, Ingenuity what?
Oh, sorry. Ingenuity suggested that I apply for the SBS, and they were talking about that yesterday as well on Witness Chat.
Yeah, we
And
were.
I think that's a really good idea, but I just don't know if people really are paying attention to it, or uh, I don't know. It seems like a risk to me, 10 SBD, to if nobody's going to pay attention to it. But then again, it might be a really cool source of funding. So I'm kind of not sure.
So you might want to see if you can try to pick up some more momentum. Keep your momentum going, and once you think you have some momentum up, then try one then, because people are more familiar with you then, and then more likely to vote. He's processing that.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to wait a little bit, but it seems like a good idea. I mean, there is funding available, and like I said, Ingenuity thinks it's a good idea that he would support it. That since it's building a real world project, it kind of can change the look of Steam or how people look at Steam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It certainly seems to. Nothing's being funded by SBS.
No, they were saying yesterday that people were using it as like a polling.
There is a couple that have been put up there that are treating it like a poll. The first one that went up was the one by Crypto Drive about the power down period. So to find the dollar, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. What are you doing?
Attending something maybe.
I was thinking that you might want to come on to Curation Corner and we'll talk about the project. I see some people who are interested in knowing more about it. Does that
Yeah,
work
I'll
for you?
have to see. Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
cool. I
Okay.
mean, the more information we get out there, the more the better, right? The more people learn. I haven't heard anybody say, "Oh, that's a stupid idea." Everybody seems to think it's a great idea, but uh,
Yeah, they
yeah,
just need to
the
understand
more
a little
people
bit
that know
more
about
about
it,
it.
exactly.
So 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. UTC. Okay?
Next Tuesday, you said.
Yep. Okay. Sergeant Dan, you're up.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're at. And thank you, Shadows Pub, for hosting this super, super show.
Thank you for being here.
I wanted to share this post. It's a submission to a contest that the Marky Mark and STEM Geeks is doing, and the post is about 5 days old, so it's coming up on its payout date. And I think this contest is over, I believe. But anyway, this post is very, very good. It's from Benji. Some people that have been around a bit, they know who Benji is, and I was not aware that he was a school teacher, but after reading this post, I found that out. But he talks about um, STEM. And for those of you that don't know what STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and math. And he talks about how children are kind of indoctrinated that these are very, very hard subjects in school. And he just gives his insight from years of teaching, what he thinks about STEM being hard and stuff. So it's very, very good. It kind of took my attention. I'm all about education. My daddy told me when I was a boy, knowledge is power, son. So never stop learning. So this is a very interesting post. When you look at it, it's got a lot of text, and you might think it's about an 8 to 10 minute read, and I think it's worth reading, worth checking out. It's very, very good, very well put together. Only one picture on there for y'all that like a lot of pretty pictures and gifs. So, but there you go.
Richard says the deep problem is primary teachers suck at math and science. That's what should change. Get some decent primary STEM teachers. Yeah, there are some teachers that I meet and I just kind of grimace at the fact that they're teaching the next generation. So, thank you, Serge. And Axeman, you're up. Where's your write-up? Oh, there it is. So Axeman says the story begins while crossing the Gulf, moving to southern part and shooting some vessels moored in port and under various cargo operations. Container ships and bulk carriers, cargo ferries, and so on. Not the biggest port in Europe, but working smoothly and constantly growing. Caught pretty cool colors of sunset as well. A few nice longer exposure blue hour shots at the end, all using long telephoto lens. Axeman always has some pretty decent photos when he does them, which is often. And he did once again. Thank you, Axeman. And Snook, you are up. The Gnomeless Snook.
Yeah. Took my gnome away. This is the first part of a story that I've been writing. The second part went up last night, and it's called a bedtime story because when well, as some people know, I have trouble falling asleep, and I always have. And what I do is I'll make up stories in my head while I'm laying there, and then fall asleep to the story that I'm telling myself. And this is one of the stories that I'm writing out that I have made up in my head while I was going to sleep. So that's where the title comes from.
Ah, it literally was a bedtime story.
Yes, to myself.
That is a good idea. Maybe I should try that sometimes.
It does work, actually. And the
Says,
story is really good.
it's so me to, it says me to myself. Tell me a bedtime story.
Yeah. Well, because I guess Engine went to read it to his kids, and then he read the first line and went, "Oh, no, no, girls, this isn't for you." And I hadn't thought of it that way. He thought it was a kid's bedtime story. It's not.
So Blue Mist just informs me that I'm now the current Steam Torch bearer again.
I didn't know.
That's okay. I'll pass it on. It was, oh God, it's probably 6 months ago since it was sent to me. but that could be steam time. It may have been shorter.
What is that steam torch?
It's a bit of an experiment. Person that started it, what is it? They add one steam to it each time it moves. I've forgotten exactly the process, but it grows with a little bit of steam every time it moves. And the idea is that everybody's honest enough to keep moving it.
Ah,
I think
that's a cool idea.
I noticed a post the other day, and I think it's up to somewhere around 800 and some odd steam. I think when I moved it, it was somewhere around 350.
Ah, that's cool.
It's kind of neat that nobody has broken the chain. Yeah, it is. It shows the basic honesty on the platform. Although
Yeah.
I would suspect that had anybody decided to take off with it, they'd have got run off the platform. And Zeke is up next. Thank you, Snook. Richard says, find me.
All right. I leveled up.
Woo.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't know that I couldn't go back through the 400 or no 222 torches that have been passed to figure out who is what. And I looked at my wallet and thought, holy crap,
Where'd all that come from?
Somebody's paying me. Somebody finally appreciates me. And then I looked and found it was passed by a Bitcoin skeptic who I think has been on this show before and is a Powerhouse Creatives person. So it's nice to be trusted with that type of thing. And I think that's why the chain hasn't been broken. You sit there and you think, okay, who do I know? Who do I trust? Who is active? Who would it be beneficial to send it to? So that's probably why you've got it a bunch of times.
I just twice. And I think I sent it. I can't remember whether I sent it to Dream or Blue. I think I sent it to Blue and he sent it to Dream.
Okay. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Once a week, I usually put together a thoughtful daily post because we all love to be positive and we all love West Philbin. And the one I picked this week that kind of struck me was it looks like an old school type of something printed in a piece of paper or a newspaper. What the hell's a newspaper? But it's nice, be nice to people. But what really struck me, because I've been thinking with a larger perspective, is the universe isn't interested in your achievements. Like, yeah, I guess that's true. So, achieving some sort of financial victory or, getting something to improve my life or a toy or something like that, or, any of those types of things really, really doesn't matter. And the only thing that you can really do is just affect the universe in a positive manner. And then, not having being a good Samaritan as something you do on your journey to financial freedom. It should be the other way around. Just be a good Samaritan and help folks, and then in between doing that constantly, make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're successful, and you're setting your goals and that type of thing. So anyway, I thought that was a neat thing to pass on. And the discussions that I have in the comments are always so fantastic, and I love posting them here for the good folks here. So I always throw a shout out to Pimp Your Post Thursday.
We always like seeing you in the post it so we know that you've done it. All right. Thank you, Zeke.
Thank you.
We missed you last week, so glad to see you back this week.
Yeah, I think I was around, but I wasn't posting, and I was jumping from one thing to the other, and as you know, one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, so that's the way it goes.
That happens. And Safi, you're up.
Okay, so I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit weird still, but this was a post I saw today from Kitty Girl, and she always makes amazing pictures. And I actually saw this one when she wrote about, um, this being an art as a leaf, but I wasn't really sure. And then she says later on that that it is a leaf, and that the art gallery is like the nature. And I think that is really
Sorry, go ahead.
no. It's I think it's a really beautiful picture, and it's a new way. I didn't think of the fact that you can take pictures like that. That the picture you make actually can make art if you try.
Yeah, Kitty Girl does a lot of that.
Yeah, and this one really inspired me. I'm thinking actually of trying that myself, because there are many beautiful pictures, and the nature is really beautiful with all the colors and stuff. So I think that this is, yeah, this is a really
Kitty girl's amazing in all the ways. We love you, kitty girl.
yeah.
Yeah, until we get down to the smallest molecule, there's art in pretty well everything. And then if you do microphotography like Zippy does, you get the smallest molecule.
Guilty as charged.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, your pictures is amazing, Sipra. I am.
Thank
I'm
you.
still trying. My closest picture is, yeah, maybe 1 out of 20 that is good. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, not.
I think you
Oh,
underestimate yourself,
see,
Safi.
that that's what I was about to say. You're only seeing the photos that I'm sharing that are the ones that pass muster. You don't see the ones that are not in focus or weren't quite what I wanted. You don't see all the process that it takes to get to the one, right? So keep that in mind when you're seeing things that you like, even if it's coming from a pro. It doesn't mean that every time they press the shutter, it's awesome.
Yeah, I hear you.
Thank you, Safi. And Solo. Sarge says Kitty Girl is very creative, artsy, and did I mention helpful? She is that.
I've decided to do photography, but I stuck to things indoors for a change. I have a computer component that burned out on me, but it sure looks cool under my macro camera. And I just kind of look through all the, try to figure out what they are and why they're grouped, and look at all the gold that exists in these modern computer components. And it makes sense. That conducts electricity really well. It deals with heat really well. And I just find it pretty. So I hope you all like this macro photography of this little hard drive. These things go in modern computers, and they can help your computer boot up in like 30 seconds. Basically, it's a thumb drive, but it lives on your motherboard. So it's a really cool device. And I hope you all like the few photos I shared in the macro filter style.
Definitely brings it into focus.
Yeah, I'm proud my macro lens is really doing well, even if it's just circuitry at the moment.
It's okay. Gotta start somewhere. All right. Thank you, Solo. And X-Man, you are up. Let's see who we got. Zipporah, you're here.
Yes,
Zeke
yes.
is here.
Z's
Booyah!
the Z.
And Axeman better be because he's presenting. So y'all got SBI.
A to Z. Thank you so much.
And Axeman says the coast of Baltic Sea at Curion Spit and the Battle of the Phoenix. Don't ask me with whom. Some dark and evil opponent. That actually is a gorgeous photo. And it does look like a battle's going on in the sky. Very nice, Axeman.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, the colors are amazing. You were about to leave. Wow.
Good thing you waited.
Color splash after sunset. Nice. It paid off not leaving too fast. And Snook, you're up.
Um. Oh, just for actually, part 2 of that first story is written. That's already up. I got to do part 3 today. But anyway, this was a post. It was actually kind of funny. I did the video, the DTube video, the night before, and then it was like 3 a.m. and so I had to go to bed. And by the time I got back to it, it was the next night, and the the written post is all the stuff that happened during that 24-hour period. And it was weird just because I had from the night before a video of talking about, my end of my day and in that, and then all in that next day was when we had to go check to make sure somebody was still breathing, and yeah, what a difference 24 hours can make in your life. So
He's
it was
lucky
just,
he was still breathing after two women walked into his bedroom.
well, there is that too. At least it ended with a good joke. That's all I can say. At the age of 90 something, he can finally say, I was sitting in my bedroom and two women walked in.
Speaking,
And
speak.
he got a good dinner out of it too, because we made him come over and eat.
My uncle had his birthday on Tuesday. He turned 98.
Wow.
Yeah, it reminds me. I still haven't called him.
Oh, bad. Shame on you.
Well, it's not that I haven't been busy.
Well, I realize that, but he is 98.
Well, he's not going anywhere. They took his license away.
Oh, well, that's good.
So he'll be home a little more. Axeman's grandmother turns 89 day after tomorrow.
Sweet. Yeah, I got 2 more weeks with my mom, who's 82. So, yeah.
So she's a young pup.
She's young, young, young.
Thank you, Snook. And Serge is up. He said he's pimping something that's loosely art.
Yes, and I might mention
I don't know what you're mentioning, but you died.
before scrolling down, you may want to make sure that you haven't eaten recently.
Oh, I know what post
I
this
don't
is.
know if you are all familiar with whispers that have been going around online, but there is a contest that What's Up came up with, and oh my God, she is so funny. She comes up with the craziest stuff. Um, she's for those of you who are not familiar with What's Up, if you've ever seen that was her creation. She did a started this thing called Rage Quit Friday, among a lot of other things. And this is her latest and greatest, along in collusion with a number of other ladies on the blockchain called Doudoir. And the whole idea of the contest was, what if men posed like women? Um, I don't know. It's I said loosely art, and that picture of me is not a complete nude, but that gut there is the envy of every middle-aged man, and that was my submission. I tried to look like the picture next to me, but I didn't pull it off. So there's a funny
Good
for
job.
I think you have a little more face hair than her.
Yeah, my pose wasn't right, and I didn't use a very good background, and I was going to try to make it into like a sepia and stuff, and I was trying to get my curation post out for Pimp Your Post Thursday last week, and I said, hell, I'll just take a picture of myself over here by these drapes. See what the hell happens here. So, if you need a laugh today, there's mine. You might look at the other contestants. I think there's only about 5 or 6 of us, but it's up to 600 Steam. And last time I checked, as far as the prize, and I don't know how that's going to be divvied out,
Oh, they'll come up with
but
something. As long as you had some fun with it, that always helps. All right, Safi, you're up. All right, what are you doing here?
Okay, this is I made a crazy post a while back where I have this tree in my garden that my nephews used to call the boog. They think that he looks a little, scary. But then we got the idea to put some Google eyes on and do a Google post. So this is the and and I made that post a while ago, and I thought it was funny. And then some people asked me to do another one, like what happened to Oak Googly. So yeah, yesterday I kind of had fun out in the garden and made some. Yeah, he had some friends that I kind of find it funny to put some Google eyes on some things in the garden. So yeah, it I had some fun with this one, so I wanted to share.
Oh, nice move on the water pump.
Yeah, that was witty. He sees boobs everywhere, so he was like, so now it's the nipple googly instead of that. So yeah, uh, but it was supposed to be a good.
Nice choices there.
Yeah,
Lucky
it was
Bobby.
fun. Yeah, I know. That one was cute with his eyes. That's kind of what he does with his eyes when he's begging me for something, and he looks at me like that. So yeah, it's hard to.
Yeah.
And I thought the pump was actually my favorite because the moment I put the ice on, it kind of looked really weird.
It looks a little suggestive and it isn't boobs.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Frank should get a chuckle out of that.
Yeah.
And Axeman's back. Okay. There we are. Today we're coming to a short visual story of the Dubai Mall Aquarium. Full title of it is Dubai Mall Aquarium and Underwater Zoo, and it's really quite a captivating attraction with a capacity of about 10 million liters of water and generally one of the largest indoor aquariums in the world. There's also a tunnel under it for a separate payment. 10 million liters above me? Yeah, I ain't going there, thanks. That'd be like just in a mall. Yeah, that would kind of feel like being in a submarine, not going there either. Wow.
Uh, Hello everybody. My voice is here.
Very good, Axeman.
Shadow Pops, I'm Shubho. My
I
voice
know you.
is here.
I know you Shuvo. I haven't called on you yet, have I? Just hang.
Actually, sorry for that. Sorry for interrupt. Actually, that time I'm present in rural area. There is no internet. is available. That's my problem. That's why I need a chance for present my post early.
Well, you had the same thing last week, and what answer did I give you?
Yeah, actually, every week, every Thursday, I also come in my father-in-law house for visiting rural area. For I am a dentist. Cause every Thursday I also
So define the dollar and solo miner. Are you present?
Yes, I'm here.
And define, are you present? Yep. Okay, you two won the shade. And now it's Shuvo's turn because he was up next anyways. He just needed to be a bit patient.
Okay, thank you. After Slomina finish his content present, that's why I also drop my content link. Thank you for my chance.
Hi, I am. Um, where's your link? Oh, now we're waiting for him to drop his link. Or maybe he just fell off completely. Shuvo, drop your link.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Maybe you should have been getting the link instead of trying to tell me how you needed to jump the queue. All right, tell us about this post.
First of all, thank you, Shadow Props and all buddy for chance. Actually, every Thursday I also visit rural area like primary school cause this my duty cause guys I am a dentist. Every Thursday I also visit my local area for how to maintain oral hygiene. I also treat rural area school boys. That's why I also create this.
Okay, so this is you visiting in a rural area doing your dental work. Uh, Shuvo, is this you visiting in a rural area doing your dental work?
Yeah.
Okay,
My voice is clear.
good stuff. So how many kids would you say that
Yeah,
you look after each Thursday?
maybe 100 plus.
Guess you don't do that in 5 minutes, do you?
Actually, lot of children are here. This is called when I treat. Then the time those boys are very careful listening to my voice. They also commitment me every day. They maintain her oral hygiene. I also treat proper guide. They also promised me, yes, doctor, I also follow your guideline. I think that's a great achieve for a doctor. Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Shadow Props
Thank you,
and
Shuvo.
others for present
PH
my pay.
PH says the child on the first photo isn't happy to see a dentist. Yes, he teaches them good
Yeah.
dental hygiene.
But right now I miss you, James. Why maybe James not is here.
Pardon?
James, I don't.
Oh, James Russell.
Yeah,
He's not here. He's
yeah,
not here
yeah.
today. I haven't seen him yet,
Yeah.
anyways. All right. So,
Okay. Thank you for
Solo
giving me a chance.
and Solo, you're up.
Okay,
Wanted to
thank you
share
guys.
some in wanted to share some infrared photography with y'all, and it's also in the ultraviolet spectrum, but mostly what we'll see here is going to be the infrared light responding. It's a fallen tree trunk that fell into a fern patch, and it gives the look a really unique appearance. How the ferns are bright white, but the tree trunk is pretty much dark, besides the moss growing on it. So there's like a whole bunch of little details you'll notice if you look close at the picture, like the lichen is reflecting light, but the bark is not, but the ferns are, but the ground around it is not. So I just appreciate seeing how the plants are responding to this change in the forest, and how these logs slowly break down and then become fertilizer for all of the plants around them. It's just one big cycle, and I'm always glad to see a tree fall because it means some other plants are now going to get some nutrients from it.
The forest compost.
Sure is. Good stuff, especially when it's hardwood. The trees love it.
Very neat. Yeah, I've heard a rumor to that effect, Sarge. So our local waste system is adding a compost stream come the 1st of December.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Oh,
That's going to be interesting to manage.
hope it doesn't catch on fire.
Well, we just take the kitchen refuse and put it out at the curb. It's their problem after that.
Yeah, I just hear about compost bins. They get really hot inside, and even trash dumps. Sometimes the stuff catches on fire. And
We always had a compost pile when I was growing up. It was down at the end of the yard. So it was it literally was a pile, and we'd go down and throw stuff on it, and every now and again Dad would throw dirt on it, and a couple times a year he'd churn it over.
it's amazing how much heat comes out of them. With all my tree mulch I've been having delivered, it's amazing how hot at the center of that mulch pile.
Yeah, it's actually, oddly enough, it's the dampness that generates the heat. That's why when farmers put away wet hay, there's a better chance of a barn catching fire than when they put away dry hay.
Oh, I didn't know the moisture content. Is it locking in the heat? Is that what?
As it's attempting to dry out, it's generating a heat, and if it generates too much, that's when the hay will catch on fire, and then you lose a barn.
Oh, so the drying out aspect actually makes the heat. It must be the bacteria inside doing
Yeah.
something.
If it's dry out in the field, then you're pretty safe when you put it in the barn.
Oh, I would have not known, and I would have had a burned down farm.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive. Back in my younger, more energetic days, I used to help bring in hay for some of the farmers. So that's where I learned it.
Well, that's a really important thing to realize, because I don't think I would have realized that until it's too late.
There you go, a little bit of trivia today. Thank you, Solo. And Safi, you're up.
Okay, so this is a part two of. I made some post about my home, where birth town. I took a trip with my parents, and this is a museum I used to go a lot when I was a kid. And every year they have different kind of vernissage on the upstairs. And that is in my next post. That was about Christmas textile, kind of. But this is about the church and the history with the monks, and yeah, some history of my town. And
750 years old.
yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
it is a really nice place, and they have really preserved everything very well. So that is what I love about that hometown, that they really are into history and keeping the things the best way they can. So it's a great place to visit, and yeah, I love.
Yeah, you can see that it's very well maintained.
Yeah, it is.
So, you ever wonder about the feet that have walked there ahead of you?
Crazy
The
to
what?
think about.
What's that, Zip?
Crazy to think about that.
750 years of people in that building. There'd be a lot of stories
Yep.
if the walls could talk.
Yeah, exactly.
If the stairs could talk.
That too. All right. Thank you, Safi. And Zipporah, you are up.
And your weekly collection of my top 5. Yes, please go support people. Have a listen. As per usual, I'm posting this not with the intention to gain support for my post, but to drive some traffic and a little bit of support to our musicians on the platform that are taking the time to enter into our contest. So if you have a moment, go have a listen.
Yeah,
Yay.
well, I'm going to say give Zippy the support anyways because she took the time to create the post.
It's true. Thank you. I'm also insane. I overdo everything. So I don't know if you've noticed, but every week there's a different image, lead-in image that says the week. I create a new promo image for the specific week every week in both English and Spanish for all the judges.
That's good. I
Because
featured
Yeah,
your.
that's okay.
thank you.
That's why I included you on my last curation post of the PYPT on there.
Oh, I missed that. I guess Gina's not telling me when I'm mentioned. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've really enjoyed with the Sonic group playing a little more with my graphic design stuff and having this opportunity to use this. Like I literally have thousands and thousands of photos of people performing, so I'm getting to use that stuff in a really productive way, and that's pretty fun.
Perfect. I've noticed Gina seems to miss some of the mentions as well.
She seems to be missing all of them, quite frankly. I pretty regularly I feel like something pops up and I see my name, like even a lot of entrants then when I notice when I'm watching their entries that they thank the judges and my name is often mentioned, but I'm never getting any notifications anymore about that. So I don't know what's going on with you, Gina.
Yes.
Gina's
Gina
being
is a little bit late. I usually get my notification a little too late, so I
She's not just late. I just am not getting notifications about being mentioned, even though I very clearly remember selecting that. So maybe
yeah,
I need to visit my settings again. If I can ever remember how to get back there. I can never remember how to get back to my GinaBot settings.
yeah.
Ugh.
Dot,
I hear you
dot,
there. I have this-
dot, set, and then your name.
Dot set and my name in the
Yep.
GinaBot DM. Okay. Thank Thank you all. You're lovely people.
So
Just like
lovely.
that.
Ah, thank you, Shadow.
I used it yesterday to put somebody on a blacklist.
You're fabulous.
Well, it was somebody that kept doing a repetitive, redundant post, and I finally went, okay, it's time you hit the blacklist. Which, by the way, is a really great show if anybody watches it. Called The Blacklist.
Yeah, yeah, on TV.
Yeah, on TV. Nothing like digressing really quickly, eh?
I think I've heard of it, but I actually never seen.
It's really good. I really enjoy it. I'm trying to remember the main actor. It's Spade is his last name. I can't remember his first name.
Kevin.
Could be. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. It airs on Friday nights here.
Okay, I would check it out. Probably have it on Netflix.
Yeah, likely. Yeah, I actually went to Netflix this week. I've been watching The Crown. And
Yeah, I've seen that.
Safi, you're up.
Okay, so yeah, this is kind of a funny post. We were in the general chat and we were just having some fun. And then I got a DM with video, and it just totally cracked me up. And I just had to share it in general. And yeah, I kind of thought that Witty would find that funny. This is it. And he totally he totally does those new things about the words that don't exist, but he kind of finds them funny. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
made
seems
fun
to
of it.
like making up words, doesn't he?
Yeah, usually when it has to do with boobs or dicks or whatever, it's usually his. So yeah, this was funny. And
So define which one's boring, The Crown or The Blacklist?
the
Well, it's not exactly a suspense show, but it's very well done. I am a bit of a royalist since she is my head of state. Thank you, Safi.
thing.
And I am Rain. You're up.
Hi.
Hello. There
Okay, I
she
was a
is.
bit late in coming in because I was working on a post actually.
Well, you're forgiven then, especially if you're presenting that post.
Yes, that's exactly. I just like finished it a couple of minutes.
So tell us about this post that you worked so hard on.
Well, I was thinking of I had a lot of old photos. I didn't know where to place them or tell stories about them. I thought it's a Thursday, so try a TBT like Throwback Thursday.
Ah, that's what that means. Throwback Thursday. Birthday and fishes. Boy, you really did throw back. You went back before the start of the blockchain, January 2010.
That's right.
So, where does this take place?
We actually celebrated my mom's birthday and we went to what we call the Manila Ocean Park. It's like where you have a huge aquarium and other activities. It's in the post.
Very neat. Looks like some nice photos there. Very good. Thank you, I am Rain.
Thank you.
And Axeman, you're up. I think he's still with us. Axeman. There he is. I see him typing. All right. And there's the write-up. By present time, this is the largest OLED screen in the world. Well, many things in Dubai, actually, measuring 709.69 square meters and with a resolution of 1,700,352,000 pixels. Amazing piece. And finally, the ceiling there is made from many small LEDs, making the feeling of some starry sky. As a result, while shooting upwards, we are coming to some phantasmagorical, thanks Axeman, result, kind of if we are flying somewhere in the universe.
Phantasmagorical.
There we go. He loves throwing those big words in there just to catch me up. Take care, Rhonda. Oh, for some reason my click on it didn't bring the post up. There we go. Now it's up on the screen. That would be like some serious TV watching. on that screen. I take it that it's a whole bunch of screens together. This description of the post sounds like a challenge for the next one. It's over the aquarium actually for a full length. So are you rising to the challenge there, PH? For Shadows reading. The purpose of the show was not to test my reading ability. Sorry, what? Yes, new words, always nice. I don't do a lot of reading out loud, believe it or not. Just on the show. I probably should do more. It would improve my pronunciation. All right, Sarge, you're up.
Oh, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I was getting my tea.
Take care, Zipporah. What was the last one? German name of the lens. Yeah, you got me on that one too. If I think he goes looking for a word to get me each time. Good to know that you use the word and you hardly pronounce it.
Ozpora left too early.
No, I just grabbed that link before I'm going. I was waiting until you dropped it.
Well, this is the post I was talking about that I had you featured in.
Thank you. You're so sweet, sir.
Yeah, this is the second one Dan has done. He's doing a nice job.
Well, this post here, and I was late this week with it, but this is something I intend to do every week. And I don't want anyone to think that I didn't like their posts or anything. It's just, I just decided to grab 7 posts that caught my attention and that I enjoyed a great deal. And they're not listed in any order unless I say this was my favorite. Um, and of course, I have links to the bulletin board, uh, token BB, where all the posts are listed. It's in the post twice, so everybody, you get eyeballs on your post if people are curious and about what PYPT is. But if people don't know what PYPT is, they must be under a rock because this has been going on for over 2 years, and it's the oldest manual curation podcast or show on the blockchain. But anyway, there were some posts that really caught my attention that I really liked, and I included them in this post here. And if you go and look at it, they're all, I think, worth a read or a look. And even though some are past the payout date, I get a lot of tokens from people. And that's a way to kind of upvote in a way. If they're past the payout date and you can't give a Steam STU upvote or a tribe upvote, you could throw some tokens at the post. Give them a beer, give them a shade, give them
Yeah,
a.
if you own 100 shades, you can share shade as well.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Sarge. I stayed for you, and I'm going. Bye. See y'all later.
All right. Thank you, Serge. And health recipes, you're up. Okay. Good afternoon. This is a stew of lentils, vegetables, and minced beef and pure pork sausage. It's made without pork breast and bacon to make it healthier. It's a recipe that my grandmother makes and is part of a fitness diet to build muscle mass. It's the way to lose fat and gain muscle. Thank you all for your support. And lentils is full of nutrient. I very rarely make beans without adding some lentils to them. That looks tasty. He's typing something there. Well, you use pumpkin. That's different. Very common in winter and early spring. Yeah, the cold weather comes on. It's always a good time for soups and stews. I do love my Instant Pot for that. All right. And Safi, you're up.
Okay, this is Coffee. He makes a lot of amazing posts, and I know that he's usually tired in the week and he's working really, and I love his vlogs. He always when he that is just like so genuine, and he just talks about all kinds of stuff, and
He writes
sometimes
with
he gets
he writes with a style that when you're reading his post, you almost feel like you have to get up and jog around the room.
yeah, I know.
It's very high energy writing.
Yeah, it is. He's like and yeah, I love those kind of posts, and I thought this one was really I wanted to share. And I know he does some other his pictures. I mean, when he's out on his walks on Saturday and Sunday, they have just when I see from the beginning until now, it's like his pictures are really amazing too. And yeah,
Yeah, he does some good stuff. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, and he just doesn't know it himself. He thinks that yeah, he doesn't think that he is as good as he is. I try to tell him, but he's like, "Oh wow, have you seen my latest post? It gets like a really boost. Oh, I think that maybe they like it."
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I tell him that too, and I said that you deserve it, and you see people like it. And he's like,
Well, I think sometimes where people don't get an overblown idea of themselves, um, they actually end up being better in the long run because they're constantly working on the craft.
yeah, I actually was thinking about the post that you made about, markdown and the way you can make a better post and better to read for the people. Because I think it was Animal Soul that told me when they uploaded my post, pretty much one of my trip with my parents post, he said that my posts were really good, but there was some of the way that I write, that I could change, the text some, so it would be a little bit easier to read.
Oh, really? I find most of yours
Yeah.
pretty good, although you do have a habit sometimes of centering text, and centering is not always easy to read.
No, I realized that, but when I did the last post, it was like I didn't realize until later that it was centering everything after the pictures, and I was like,
Oh,
why does it
geez.
do that?
So
So it was like, yeah,
you meant to center the picture and then the text centered on you?
and it was like the picture. I did center some of them, but then it was like not the pictures. It was just the text in some, but then when I put the picture in, the text after the picture also turned out to be centered, but that wasn't uh that wasn't
That's not
what.
defined as just commented there. You didn't do your closing tag. There's one of two things: either you didn't do the closing tag, or you put the closing tag in but forgot the slash to make it a closing tag.
Oh,
Sometimes people
maybe
do
that.
that. They'll put center on both sides, and without that slash there, it's not closed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to learn. It's like my my posts lately have been a little bit bigger than before, and I try to write more, but yeah, that's also when I realized I need to, think about how I write. And then one thing I wonder, if the headline, if you want that center, then how do you do it? Because if I center the headline, it doesn't.
You can't. The headline format's on its own. So as near as I know, you can't center a headline.
Okay, yeah, then I know.
So something else that I've got in the habit of doing, because, yes, the title, Sarge, because I use them over on Medium, you put your headline in, your title in, and then you put a subtitle, which is almost like a one-sentence summary of the article. So they have a setup over there for you to be able to format it. But since I've already created one, I do it over here, and I use 3 hashtags in front of it. So it becomes the first line of my post and 3 hashtags. That just gives people a little bit more idea of what the article's about.
Oh, okay.
A year solo. It's kind of interesting watching the differences between the two platforms. Oh, really? I haven't come in. I'd like to find out who they are, because I'm actually thinking about starting a community of Medium writers here on Steam to try to entice some of the ones from Medium over here. Because there are some good writers over there. It'd be great to have them over here. I find that Steam Markdown just doesn't. There's some things that doesn't allow. Same with the HTML. There's some things that are disallowed. Ah, interesting. Well, maybe we can unearth them. Thank you, Safi. Axeman, you're up. SMTH special now. All right. Already known abandoned location with white piano and perfectly contrasting dark-skinned model with eye-catching body. Abandoned piano. Music lost. Finished with long stories and long words. I've noticed this is something they've been doing in local community, is they take a piano and put it out on the street. They paint it up, put it out on the street for people to come along and play during the summertime. Well, we get a pretty diverse climate here. I've always kind of wondered about it, because we do get a fair amount of rain in the summertime. But I guess if it's a piano that nobody's really too worried about, because the dampness will spoil the tune on it. So will too much heat. Okay. Is anybody else got anything they're wanting to share?
I had one more thing, if I could. Let me
Yep,
put a
absolutely.
get in the queue.
Go for it, Sarge.
I have to find her real quick.
Ah, okay. Obey the rules. Don't jump the queue, or try to. I like that plan, Safi.
Me too.
So, what time is the evening show for you?
I think it is around 1 at night.
So how does that work with your sleep pattern? Is that late for you, or is that more or less, time you're normally around anyways?
Well, considering the fact that I, since last weekend, I've been homesick, so with a cold and fever and stuff, so I'm home this whole week too, so this time it doesn't really matter.
Did Kitty
I
Girl
can be up
send
and
you
about.
hers?
Yeah, you could think maybe that her coffee is also bad as mine, but I thought that after a week it would be better, and it is, but I lost my voice yesterday, and I kind of feel like it's not really, um, yeah, it's still here, but I'm trying to do as much as I can and drink warm, and yeah.
Is yours in the chest?
The what?
Is yours in the chest?
Yeah, first it was like the cold and snotty nose and everything, but it went down, and then it was like every time I was breathing, it was making some noise. So the doctor said that I probably would get a bad cough, and I think the day after I woke up with cough, and then it's been like, yeah, almost a whole week.
Kitty Girls is really hanging on. I've never seen it like this with her.
No, I know she said that it's still holding its grip over her, and it's
Yeah.
been a long time now, so I really hope it gets.
Sarge, tell us about your post.
This is a young lady. For those of you that don't know, I am very bullish on the steam terminal. Hey, have you met James Russell and Ren and Josie, Britt, and all of those folks over there? Have you heard or have you read on Steam all this talk of onboarding new users and this and that and all the other thing? I think it was mentioned in Witness Chat. While these people are doing what they can to help new users, and the best advertising 101 is keep your current users happy, and that's the best advertising there is because you'll get word of mouth and they'll tell their friends and they'll tell their friends, and then it goes exponentially. So anyway, having said that, this young lady, Bliss 11, she lives on the continent of Africa, and she's fairly new to the platform, and she's involved with the Redfish Rally that Steam Terminal and Steam Aid and all them put on, and she does a super job for being new on the platform. And one of her things she likes to do like movie reviews and TV reviews and stuff, and she does a real great job at it. And she's just sweet as apple pie. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you this post here. I read the post, I read the review. I said, I wonder if I could bring that movie up on Netflix. And I got on my Netflix, and sure enough, this movie was on Netflix, and I watched it. Oh, and it was a wonderful movie. They call it movies that come from the continent of Africa, um, Nollywood. You have Hollywood, and then you got Bollywood,
Now
which
you got
is,
Nollywood.
and now you got Nollywood, the N coming from Nigeria, but even though they took it from that, they're pretty much talking about all movies that come out of the continent of Africa. But it was a very good movie, and I'm glad I read her review of it, and then was prompted to kind of check the movie out. And I'm glad it was on Netflix and it was available because I really, really enjoyed it. So I just
Good.
wanted to introduce this young lady to you. You might want to check her out. She does real nice posts, and it's not just movie reviews. She takes pictures. She's got one post there of a beautiful sunrise, and yeah, she's a very clever young lady.
Very good. Yeah, so Define the Dollar made the comment that he thought that the best thing that was said, and this was yesterday at the witness chat. Users shouldn't need a tutorial to use an app. The only thing is that until this platform evolves a whole lot more, they're going to need tutorials.
Oh, definitely, definitely. But no matter how much we evolve, there's going to be detractors, complainers, and everything else. But you know what? I wish if they hated this platform so much, they'd get the hell out of here.
Nah, they don't hate it, or they wouldn't be around. I don't need no stinking manual. Where it is now and where it was 3 years ago is a lot of big steps, and we'll see some more big steps. They're coming. I actually was a little bit more enthused about communities after watching the recording of Crimson's show from last Saturday than I was before it. Yeah, because she's that recording shows us exactly what's coming because it's already existing. It's in a closed beta right now, and she's in that beta, and that's what she was sharing. Sarge says it's love-hate with him as well, but it depends how much he's had to drink. There's a lot of truth to that. SMTs are being delayed, but SMTs are not crucial for communities. You can have a community without an SMT, and you can have an SMT without a community. It's not so much that they're being delayed as they're doing as long a test net as they feel is necessary. So they're figuring on months. They're not figuring on weeks. They're going to be important to find the dollar, but I think that from between the presentation that Roadscape did at Steamfest and the recording of Crimson's show last week, I think you're going to find a pretty drastic change in the Steam experience when communities are implemented. And it appears to be for the better. Yeah, they'll be able to coexist. There's no question on that. It's going to be interesting to see once it comes out. I'm actually the initial idea that I understood with the communities was that whoever grabbed the topic first had the topic, but the way they're set up, once you get a community, if you decide that that community wants to take another direction and you want to give it another name, you can change the name, which is kind of cool too. They won't need to do group parking. If you want to, if 15 people want to do a group on photography, they can do a group on photography. It's just going to be a question of who can market their group the best. Yeah, the power of community rewards will come with SMTs, but people also have to figure out a use case. It's maybe good that they come separately in the sense that people will set up their communities, they'll get them running, they'll get a clearer idea of what the use case is going to be. Well, if I understood Crimson correctly, the names are not one per sort of thing. Like, if you want to have, photography and you want to call it photography and somebody else wants to call it photography, they can do that. So there won't be any need to be doing any parking on a name. Which is kind of cool because then it's not a race to grab names. Yeah, it is. It's identified by a chain ID, which also allows you to be able to change the names on the group anytime you want. It's not like your Steam name where once you get it, that's it. You don't change it without getting another account. From what I heard, no, actually, it's not an oversimplification because one of the comments made in response to a question at Steamfest was that they're pretty much modeled on the idea of how ERC20 tokens work. So it's not actually an oversimplification. There's a wealth of information in those recordings if you can take the time to have a look through them. Jack says SMTs are a service that puts us up to speed with other blockchains that offer subtokens, but again, they're not too late. They are not late. They will definitely be interesting, even for other blockchains who may wish to have inter-blockchain ledgering of transactions, so they can actually open up an entire new world of business transactions in the blockchain tech. And Steam is about, there's a lot of blockchains have got a lot of promise, and there's a lot of them that have sold a lot of dreams. But Steam is one of the few blockchains that are actually functioning. As imperfect as it may be, it's functioning. Don't hate on my Doge coins. I don't think it is actually defined. It's not a low bar. The number of projects that I've seen pumped over the last 3 years, and then you look back on them a month or so later, and it's just crickets. And then of course, Larimer's voice, that's not even in beta. Like, that one's just vaporware at this point. Holding Doge is a troll on yourself. Great fun and game. Go ahead.
Yeah, when they first started talking about them smart media tokens and stuff, and I read and read and tried to get past all the geeky techie stuff, tried to understand what the hell is this shit. And then that's what came to my mind. I said, well, you know how Ethereum, because my very small investments, like basic attention token, that's under Ethereum. I think Golem is too, and a few other things. I said, well, that's what the hell it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a token that's underneath the Steam, just like all these tokens that are under Ethereum. So that's how I always thought about it in my mind, but I'm simple minded, so I just try to build on what I know already to figure stuff out.
Actually, I don't think that's quite correct, though. From what I understood, SMTs, they're going to run on their own sidechain. So, I mean,
No,
everything will be recorded in Steam, but they'll have their own chains.
No.
the Steam engine runs on a side chain. SMTs are running on the chain.
No, but when I asked the witnesses, they said that it's essentially its own contained cryptocurrency. Each SMT is a cryptocurrency unto itself.
Yeah, but they're running on Steam. They're powered by Steam. So they're a subtoken to Steam. So
Yeah, just like a basic attention token. They are their own coin. They're traded on dexes and exchanges and stuff, but they are still an ERC20 token though. They're still underneath Ethereum. They're not. I don't believe. I may be wrong on this, but I don't think basic attention token um, has its own blockchain.
So I'll have to go back through the recording, but what I recall from one of the recordings that I was watching from the Steamfest was, the question was asked. They were talking about the SMTs being able to be used similar to an ICO, where they can be issued and used to raise funds. And the question was raised: how are you going to get around the legalities of them being a security? And the response that came back was that they are designed around the ERC20 tokens, and they're not having problems with those issues, so they're not expecting any problems with SFTs doing the same thing. So that's why when you said about them being similar to the ERC-20s, that it's not an oversimplification because that's where they're modeled on.
Yeah, and Jack Miller, he just put in the text, SMTs will be powered by steam, and Jack Miller is he knows all about all this stuff. He's real smart. He's a witness, and he knows what's going on.